Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday. Who's on first? Kitty's in. Angie, Nebraska Angie is on. Angie made it first. Y'all knocking Jennifer right out of the park there. Angie, Kitty, Lisa. All across the country. Hello, Kelly. Suzanne and MJ. Cheers. Hello, ladies. Nancy, how are you? Hey, Linda is on. Bonnie and Park is on. That's good. I got something for Park tonight that's going to make Park very happy. Hey, Nancy, you're not late. I'm more ish than 8, but I'm earlier than I've been the last couple nights. Hello from Illinois, Kath. Cape Charles. I got a lot of friends in Virginia now. I have a lot of friends. I can't get invited to my brother's place in Virginia, and but I can get invited a lot of other places in Virginia. I think we're kind of okay with that. Hey, there's the media lady, the growing business. Hey, Kim, great to have you with us. Hello, Terry in Indiana. It is so great to have you all here tonight on this Tuesday evening. Kristen's with us too. This is great. Ooh, low power mode. It is good to have you all here. What state are you in, Bonnie? I see you're on, but I don't know whether I'm talking to you in Oregon, in between digging ditches or playing pickleball. I saw a game of pickleball last night on TV, so I know the game now. Berev, Dennis. Berev, what country are you taking us to tonight, Dennis? Hey, Twiggy. It is good to have everybody here. Tell me what we're grateful for tonight. Tell me what you are grateful for today. I'll tell you that Nana's surgery came out great. They wouldn't let me use the laser machine on her, or anything. They wouldn't let me do it. I am a little astonished. I mean, it's just a bunch of buttons. How hard could it be? They would not let me do it, but Nana is doing well. She is sitting and having dinner with us. Oregon, so 2 days ago. I am glad to hear you're in Atlanta today. Hot Atlanta. But great to have you. But Nana is doing well. Tired. She's tired, but doing well. We go back to the doctor tomorrow for a checkup. Checkup at 9 a.m. Armenian. Very nice, Dennis. You are definitely giving us the world tour on languages. Are you starting to look them up to have one to share with us, or are these things that you have in what I would call useless guy info that's just in the back of your head from your world travels? Your husband just turned your driveway into a pickleball court? That's great. No, it was literally, we were watching an episode of The Goldbergs last night, which is totally a show about my family growing up. Okay, and my mother's totally the mother in that show if you haven't seen it. But they were playing a pickleball game, and we're like, Bonnie and Park! Adele, they make up all these rules about things I can't do. I can't drive the boat for the NARTS conference, I can't drive the bus for the NARTS conference, and I can't do Nana's eye surgery. You just go there. That's okay. Useless guy info comes in handy a lot of times. It's all good, Dennis. It's all good. Isn't it great with the way that consigners connect with you by seeing you online? I mean, seeing an article about you. I mean, how they reach out and reconnect. I mean, it has been through all the various press coverage in this that the media has reached out. You know, we've had a lot of different people reach out, and they're still reaching out. So, I mean, it has a lot of mileage. The media is not dead. People are consuming it in different ways, but it is not dead at all. So that is great. And sometimes they even quote you correctly, which is even better. But that is a terrific blessing, Kim, for both you and the other business. I forget her name. Don't ever quote me on names. But I am really thrilled for you both and for everybody, because the best days are ahead of us. 2020, we are in 2020 2.0, and the best days are in front of us, not behind us. Okay? So what else are we grateful for today? I don't know if that's a grateful statement, Kath, about your husband turning your driveway into a pickleball court or not, but we'll go with grateful for that for right now. It's keeping him busy. It's keeping him out of trouble. Tell us about your Tuesday. Terrific Tuesday, everybody. Tell us about it. We want to know. Joe is with us tonight. Hey, Joe, great to have you watching live. There's no good news out there besides Kim. Is Kim our only good news? And Kath's pickleball court? Did I say hello to Julie Jankowitz? Hello, Julie Jankowitz. Welcome tonight. I hope you're doing well. Hopefully nobody's been trying to bribe you for swag bags for the NARTS virtual conference. Well, we start at the program. Oh, I want to see pictures, Julie. Well, I'm glad your husband's happy, Kath, and we got to see pictures of the hair, Julie, and the first time it was dyed since March. Hey, Heidi in Iowa, where dresses are on sale for 20% off. Plus, I think orange colors this week. I'm just saying. Orange and blue, maybe? You can get some color in Iowa. That's what I'm saying. Let's see what we got tonight. I'm opening up the Good Morning, Good Night book. It is too hot. People are fickle. And one of my locations, Nancy, the main air conditioner is out, and they had to order a part. You know. And so every customer interaction starts with, "Did you notice it was hot in here?" And my staff has noticed. You know, it's not fun. That building is like a brick oven pizza with 100-degree heat shining down on it. So hopefully a little bit of respite. Hopefully the part is there tomorrow. Your normal black with a purple undertone. Well, we will be looking forward to pictures of that later, Julie. And that'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. But hair is important. It's all part of self-care. All part of self-care. Huh? Yes, at Rebecca's company, they're actually like, we do self-care Sunday here in our industry, but in Rebecca's job, they do Wellness Wednesday, and everybody gets an extra paid hour of wellness time off where they can't be doing any work, anything about work. They have to clock out, and they're not on the clock, but they get paid for it. Wellness Wednesday. Hey, that's awesome. It is exciting, the NARTS Virtual Conference. Self-Care Tuesday, Julie, yes. Hey, Ann is with us. Let's see what we got here. All right. Kitty and anyone else that's got a good morning, good night book. Anyone else that's got a good morning, good night book. We're starting on page 194 and 195 tonight. Good morning. Get out of your own head for a sec. Do something good for someone else. They'll appreciate it, and so will your head. That is our good morning tonight. I loved this in our affirmation. I get things. You got to understand all the different crazy places and people that I come in contact with in a day that share things with me. And I love this quote. It's not the strongest of the species that survives. It's the one that is most adaptable to change. Yes, I am low on Costco Scotch, Kelly. Costco Scotch we are low on. We're getting low on gin too, but I don't like their gin. Anything else we need at Costco? Probably spinach dip, but but don't use your idle money for spinach dip, Kelly. That's what I'm saying. Do not use your idle money for the spinach dip. All right, let's see what's going on in the world tonight. I mean, the Costco Scotch bottle is getting down there. I should make it. I'll probably make it to the end of the month on it. I don't know where the bottle is right now, but it's getting down there. The end of the month is Friday. The end of the month is Friday. Aren't we fortunate? Okay, Peanut Gallery, I don't need any help here. Okay, Google. Okay, you don't have to Google this. Google's going to let its employees work from home until at least next summer. Google will let employees work from home until at least July 2021, a company spokesperson said on Monday. The company had previously said most employees would be working remotely through the end of 2020, with some employees being allowed to back in the office sooner. But the decision to extend the remote work policy well into next year indicates that one of the world's largest tech companies is bracing for a long pandemic and could prompt other businesses to follow suit.
You activated the Google
Oh.
Home.
Oops, I activated the Google Home. We're switching to Alexa anyways. Clorox wipes. That's good, Kelly. In a memo to employees, Google CEO Sundar said the company has reopened 42 offices around the world. To give employees the ability to plan ahead, we'll be extending our global voluntary work from home option through June 30, 2021 for roles that don't need to be in office. I hope this will offer the flexibility you need to balance the work with taking care of yourselves and your loved ones over the next 12 months. The tech industry has led the charge on remote work, with companies including Twitter and Facebook saying they plan to allow some employees to continue working remotely indefinitely. Marianne, Melissa. Dick's joined the Thanksgiving bandwagon. Dick's Sporting Goods will close stores Thanksgiving. I think this is interesting, but I think it's an early marketing gimmick. Okay, I think it's an early marketing gimmick because I think they're going to open at like midnight or something. They're going to do, depending on the pandemic, I think they're going to have midnight doorbusters or something like that instead of actually being open Thanksgiving Day or after dinner Thanksgiving Day or something. So I'm not totally giving people credit on this being closed Thanksgiving thing. But Dick's also is continuing to pay their premium hazard pay through the end of the year, which is a 15% pay premium through the end of the year. They didn't say it's the $2 thing, but that's basically what it is. If you had an employee making $13, 15% sounds like it's more, but it's basically the $2. Nana's doing good, Marianne. Thank you. Her surgery went well. You missed the part where I asked to do the surgery and use the machine and they wouldn't let me, but I did ask. So that is interesting with that. Hasbro. Now this is interesting. So let's talk about this next one for a second, because it affects how we grow our business and why resale is primed to really grow our way out of this. Hasbro's revenue fell 29% as store closures, product shortages hurt sales. Despite strong demand for toys, Hasbro's revenue fell 29%. Nearly 30% of its global supply toy and game revenue came from online sales. Lower retail inventory hampered Hasbro in its fiscal second quarter as the company dealt with the fallout of the global pandemic. Games such as Jenga, Connect 4, Mousetrap, Twister, but their supply chain disruption resulted in stock levels being low and limited its number of shipments during the quarter. Okay, so that is a problem that manufacturers, whether they're toy manufacturers, whether they're clothing manufacturers, regardless of what they're selling, this whole supply chain, as the pandemic has rippled across the globe, is greatly affecting supply chain. You know, we heard early on about all the factories closed in China, and then you end up with transportation issues with the boats, people in our country not working the docks. There's all sorts of supply chain issues throughout this, and then you have companies in the U.S. canceling or reducing orders, which is somewhat self-fulfilling as well for sales, whereas our supply chain is all local. Our supply chain's in your consignor's house, in their closets, okay, in their living rooms, okay. Our supply chain is all local. We don't have to get it here by boat. And so that is going to greatly help the resale industry, because we will have product when others do not. So but one of the things in toys, just as a side note, is that while major studio releases, which is common to have a toy play-in, have all but stopped and are not hitting theaters, animations are still being worked on. And so there are blockbuster features like Peppa Pig, PJ Masks, and the upcoming feature film of My Little Pony. My Little Pony! Yes, the feature film is coming out. So, and they have Hasbro's TV production company has 100 TV projects in development and another 60 movie projects in the pipeline. So there is things around that coming, but you gotta still have the associated products to sell, and if your supply chain doesn't fill it, it's not happening, people. Yeah, Twiggy, isn't that great to run out of puzzles? I mean, it's a good and a bad thing, but part of it is also, I look at the positive side, that people are using games like that, doing things to get kids away from the screens, get themselves away from a screen, is a good thing, and have more focused time and disconnected time. We all need more disconnected time. Old Navy, as Justice goes under, which we've covered, Old Navy is launching a tween brand with Pop Sugar. Old Navy's teaming up with leading young women's lifestyle site to create a new product line aimed at 10 to 13-year-olds. The limited edition collection, PS X On, includes comfortable, gender-inclusive essential for tweens ages 10 to 13. Old Navy and Pop Sugar designed the assortment in collaboration with a set of tween advisors, including designer Karis Rogers, gymnast Elise Lee, and musician-athlete Jensen Gehring. The advisor trio captured all photo and video content for the collection launch themselves while sheltering in place. As a family brand, we're constantly challenging ourselves to innovate the business to best serve all ages, sizes, and personalities. We saw an opportunity in the tween market, and we're immediately inspired by this next generation that is inclusive, culturally conscious, and not afraid to stand up for what they believed in. We're thrilled to create the PS Exxon collection alongside members from this age group with positive graphics, bright colors, and interchangeable styling pieces as they continue to adapt to this new normal and gear up for the new school year. It is a sad loss that we're losing Justice. I hate to lose these brands. These brands were built well in the beginning, and I hate to see that happen. So I truly find it sad when we lose a brand. I really I love brand history. I love company history. And a lot of these were bad buyouts that have buried these companies in debt that has caused them to go under. You can make an argument for the overstoring of the country. We have something like 24 square feet of retail in this country versus 6 feet in most of the rest of the world, 6 square feet per person in the rest of the world of retail. So you can make an argument for that, but really, a big part of it is bad deals and people sucking, finance people sucking all the good stuff out of the company and saddling it with debt. It's just really sad. All right. AIM pushes Congress to forgive states' massive unemployment debt. Massachusetts, for example, has borrowed more than $620 million from the federal government over the past month or so to pay for the record number of unemployment claims caused by the pandemic. That number is expected to total in the billions of dollars by year end. That's a lot of debt. Barring federal intervention will ultimately have to be borne by Massachusetts businesses. On Monday, the Associated Industries of Massachusetts called for exactly that sort of intervention. The business group came out in support of including unemployment insurance debt forgiveness in the stimulus legislation currently being hashed out in Congress. The Baker administration has projected the state's unemployment insurance trust fund will face a deficit of $3.2 billion by the end of 2020 and almost $6.2 billion by the end of 2021. To cover that gigantic gap, it expects to increase employer contributions to the fund by 64% over the next 3 years to $922 per employee. Okay, and this is Massachusetts is far from alone in requiring federal loans to pay out unemployment claims. States' outstanding balances are currently nearly $16 billion nationwide, according to the Treasury Department, and the loans come with a 2.4% interest rate. If Congress does not include debt forgiveness, it is working on other options, including selling bonds to pay back the federal debt rather than levy higher assessments on employers. Last month, Massachusetts' unemployment rate stood at 17.4%, highest in the nation! Even with the state's reopening plan in its third phase, more than 500,000 Massachusetts residents were still collecting traditional unemployment benefits as of mid-July. So it was interesting to see that, because while this article is talking a lot about Massachusetts, it is something that is hitting all states. So do not forget that. Most states are dealing with this. A lot of states are starting to put back in the work requirement, though. The search for work requirements and such that are a normal part of the unemployment process. A lot of states are starting to do that. Nebraska was a leader in that. But that employees must actually be looking for work actively and accept a job if they're offered it as part of a normal unemployment course. And many states are adding on to that. Oh, this is an important one. Hang on a second. I'm going to cover that. Sycamore Partners, the investment group, is offering to buy JCPenney for $1.75 billion. With it, Sycamore also owns Belk, which is a department store chain in the South, and their plan is to grow Belk as part of buying JCPenney. Sycamore is also the group that backed out of a plan to buy Victoria's Secret in the midst of the coronavirus outbreak. But JCPenney is looked at as a lifeboat for Belk, which wants to compete with Macy's nationally. Saks Fifth Avenue owner Hudson Bay, which offered $1.7 billion, and mall operator Simon and Brookfield Property have teamed up with a $1.65 billion offer for pennies. So you can still get in there. If you got $1.8 billion, you can get in on and buy pennies, and you could own just a little bit of the penny if you've got a little bit more money there than them. Twiggy, you can ask any question you want. I'm always up for your questions. I may not have the answer, and if I don't worry. I might make it up. Okay, I might not make it up too. My peanut gallery is saying I shouldn't make it up. But I'll get you the answer. Go ahead and ask your question, Twiggy. I will work it in. 1.8. Julie, you and I can pull that off, you know. What's 1.8 billion? We should be able to find that. Look in the couch cushions. Look in the couch cushions.
Yeah, we found a Kindle there this week.
We found a Kindle in the couch cushions this week. It's tough on the engagement, Twiggy. I think you either need to just ask people to leave on the not enforcing. And I posted the de-escalating. The real key is to never let it escalate. Okay, and we're having a problem in one of our stores this week where there's actually been a big run on us giving customers masks, where customers don't want to wear masks in our furniture store, which has been unusual, and especially in the north. But they wear them when we give them, but then they're just hanging down off them. You know, the real key is to not to de-escalate, not let the situation escalate. Okay, and if you're going to have it and not make your employees the bad guy, we had a great article which is in narts.org/resalestrong, narts.org/resalestrong, that talks about de-escalating just these very situations. And most people aren't trained on it. It's a great article and great tactics on doing it. But the real thing is keep your employees safe. Don't make your employees, don't put themselves in a dangerous situation by escalating a situation. It's not worth it, and it reflects more on them. It really does. It's sad. It's sad, and the news media is looking for this. The news media is looking for this. I've had reporters reach out on wanting to videotape and stage a mask confrontation, actually, so that they could get it on tape and make the news. And that just shows you some of what's happening in the media. But these confrontations are real, and they should never get to that point. They should never get to that point. But they have been looking for places to film. They were actually up here in the Northeast. The New York News, national news, nightly news at 6 o'clock. We're up here to videotape that. Yeah, it's a great article from our friends at the National Retail Federation, and they had I want to say he was an ex-Marine. Maybe a SEAL. I forget what, but he was, and he's a security expert on de-escalating situations. It was a great article. It really talked about it, but that is posted in narts.org/resalestrong. So, that is a way to go. All right. Some people do look for confrontation. Life is too short. I really don't. I mean, it is. My younger self did stupid confrontations, but I mean, let's just get along, people. And everybody's got a job to do, but it is tough. And it's one of the things that we're going to talk about. I have a call this Friday, so it's one of the topics that we'll talk about with Vice President Pence on the call that I'm on with him on Friday. Again, about a national mask policy and true leadership in that. Because the retail is leading that, and this will be the second call I'm on with Pence during the pandemic, and he's a good guy. I mean, I've met him in person, but we need leadership, and we need to get a better handle on all of this. That we as a country can do better.
That was one of the points of the de-escalation was to have it be we're all in this together.
Right. Right.
Not us against them.
Cassandra's bringing back in my peanut gallery that article that I'm quoting, reminds you to talk about it from the perspective of we're all in this together. You wearing a mask protects me wearing a mask protects you, it protects the other people. It's all of us are in this together. It's not a them versus us. And some people are, but overall our customers aren't. Overall our customers are really great people. But de-escalating the situation and keeping the situation at a lower level is the important thing. And I'm proud to be in an industry, Twiggy, as you, that is promoting this and promoting masks, and I was thrilled when the National Retail Federation changed their tact and said, okay, we can't get the governors or the president to say that there's a mask policy, then we're going to make one, and we're going to get the retailers on board. And I am thrilled to be with these people that have done this. It is truly. But, there are legitimate people that can't wear a mask. But for the most part, the people that can't wear one aren't going out. They aren't coming into our stores. They're feeling more sheltered. They're having a hard time with it. Being stuck in. I talked to my aunt for a long time the other night in her mid-80s and everything, and she's stuck at home. It's not fun. She has access to everything, but she doesn't have access to people. She doesn't have access to this in person. And her normal conversations and her girlfriends getting together for coffee and everything else. And, so the people that shouldn't be out or that are at risk, are doing what's right. Hey, Joanne, great to have you with us tonight. Thank you for joining us. Okay, now if Park was just drinking an old-fashioned and not paying attention, now Park is your time to pay attention. So, not that I'm calling you out, Park Kallenberg, but I hope you're paying attention. Because otherwise, all I'm going to do is get a text that says, hey, I need to talk to you about this. And I'll say, did you pay attention? Okay, so just a quick wrap-up on the HEALS Act, which just lets us know where our priorities and the things that we've been advocating for are in the bill, and where that is as a jumping off point. I mean, I'm still a little concerned that they're not getting this done, that it does not appear to be getting done this week. But Congress does need its back against the wall to do what's right. So, so I'm going to just run through some of the key provisions of the HEALS Act, because there's some good stuff in there for us. So the first part is liability protection. And the Safe to Work Act establishes temporary rules for coronavirus-related claims designed to help businesses that have remained open to stay open and to facilitate the prudent and safe opening of other businesses while also ensuring that those who contract the virus because of the gross negligence or willful misconduct of others can recover for their injury. It also protects employers from liability under federal labor law and employment laws for actions taken to comply with the virus, public health guidance and regulations. The bill is divided into 4 parts, with parts 1, 3, and 4 having specific applicability to retailers and restaurants, and part 2 applying to healthcare providers. Part 1 creates an exclusive federal cause of action for COVID-19 exposure claims, including those pending on the date of enactment, covering all claims against the defendant for personal injury caused by actual, alleged, feared, or potential exposure to the virus between December 1st, 2019 and the end of the COVID-19 emergency declaration, or October 1st, 2024. Covers any claim against almost any defendant, including natural persons, associations, businesses, and other organizations, so as long as they're engaging in commerce. Preempts all state laws, including common law imposing liability for virus exposure on broader grounds than those contained in the statute. Sets a 1-year statute of limitations, requires for liability and safe harbor, standard approved, that plaintiffs must satisfy each element of a claim by clear and convincing evidence, and that a safe harbor, that the defendant is not liable for exposure so long as the defendant undertook reasonable efforts in light of all circumstances to comply with the applicable coronavirus standards and regulations in effect at the time of the alleged exposure. Limits compensatory damages to economic loss and prohibits punitive damages, except in cases of intentional misconduct, like you threw the virus at them. And for federal labor law and employment laws, contains critical liability protections under the bulleted federal labor and employment statutes for actions taken to comply with coronavirus public health guidance. And liability protection for requested accommodations and workplace testing. The business tax provisions of the law. The Safe and Healthy Workplace Tax Credit, which has refundable payroll tax credit equal to 50% of employers' qualified expenses associated with employee protection, workplace reconfiguration, workplace technology, including contactless POS systems and other technology, with the primary purpose of preventing COVID-19 spread. Refundable credit cannot exceed the following in each calendar quarter: $1,000 per employee for the first 500 employees. The Enhanced Employee Retention Tax Credit. The Employee Retention Tax Credit. Now, we didn't get this if you got a PPP, but it was another option for people. There were a couple of people that I worked with that it actually worked out better for them than a PPP. Yes, Julie, do not lick your employees if you have the coronavirus. That would be bad. But if you were able to take the Employee Retention Tax Credit, it increased the amount of qualified wages from 50 to 65% and increased the per employee wages from $10,000 to $30,000. And it amount to qualify from 50% decline in sales to 25%. And it also included employees. Originally, it was employees who were not performing work. It does include employees who are performing work now under the proposal. Okay, this is the part. This is the part where I was thinking of my friend Park Kallenberg. Alrighty, are you ready? The PPP, Continuing Small Business Recovery and Paycheck Protection Program Act. Continuing Small Business Recovery and Paycheck Program Protection Act, which contains 4 main components: aimed at helping small businesses recover from the pandemic. First is Ppp Expansion and Improvement. It expands allowable and forgivable uses for PPP funds to include operation expenditures, covered worker protection expenditures, covered supplier costs, and property damage costs. Allows borrowers to select a covered 8-week period through December 31st, 2020 to use the forgivable loan proceeds. Creates a simplified loan forgiveness application for loans under $150,000 and creates a simplified loan forgiveness process for loans between $150,000 and $2 million. Borrowers will not be required to submit to the lender documentation required under the CARES Act for both types of loans. It also expands PPP eligibility to include certain organizations, including chambers of commerce with 300 or fewer employees, and it clarifies that other employee-provided group insurance benefits are included in payroll costs. Number 2, it creates a PPP second draw loan, creates a second loan for the PPP for eligible businesses. The max loan size would be equal to 2.5 times average monthly payroll costs, up to $2 million. Eligible businesses are those that meet SBA's revenue size standard, have no more than 300 employees, and demonstrate at least a 50% reduction in gross revenues in the first or second quarter of 2020 relative to the same quarter in 2019. Borrowers would be eligible for loan forgiveness equal to the sum of their payroll costs, covered mortgage, rent, utility payments, covered operation expenditures, covered property damage costs, covered supplier costs, and covered worker protection expenditures incurred before January 1st, 2020. The 60-40 allocation for payroll and non-payroll costs to receive full PPP forgiveness continue to apply. Improves the terms of the 7A loans, which are the EIDL loans for businesses located in small business and low-income census tracts. Borrowers may receive a loan up to twice their annual revenues, up to $10 million. Loans would have 100% SBA guarantee and a maturity of up to 20 years with a 1% fixed interest rate to the borrower. Allowable loan uses include working capital, acquisition of fixed assets, and refinancing existing indebtedness. Eligibility requirements include meeting the SBA revenue size standards, employing 500 or fewer employees, and demonstrating a reduction in gross revenues. Let me see. The HEALS Act would also continue supplemental payments of $200 per week instead of the expiring $600 through October 5th. After that date, this payment would replace with a payment that then combined with UI payments would replace 70% of lost wages, either via a formula specified in the bill or by a state proposing an alternative method and receiving approval from the Secretary. States unable to provide a second payment tied to lost wages by October 5th could apply for a waiver to continue paying a fixed dollar amount for up to 2 months. The HEALS Act will also fund reopening of schools and necessary PPE for schools, child care centers, and student loan repayment simplification, and testing and healthcare provisions. But that's got a lot of good stuff in it for our industry, okay? And we will be talking about that. I am on the call Friday. I was invited to be on the Vice President's call, so I will be on that Friday to discuss it and continue to advocate for a lot of those provisions in Congress, including the Park-Kellenberg provision there, as it is known. Well, we're just going to call it the PK provision. But we are working hard on that to make all this happen. I'm encouraged by it. I'm a little meh on the timeline for it because I think Congress should needs to act faster. I think the American economy needs it faster. This isn't a time to sit back and take the score and see where we are. This is a time we need to keep this going. And part of the reason they're talking about slowing it down is because of the people that are against some of the amount of spending that's going on. And if they go on recess, that they'll be able to do. But if they're trying to do a unanimous consent again, you have to remember that in Congress, any one person can object to it. As any one person can propose something, any one person can object to it and kill it. So, you got to find some middle ground here and get and talk with the people that disagree with you to get things done. And that's okay. I don't have a problem having a conversation. So Democrats and Republicans need to get around a safe distance table and get this done. And that is the message that I am sharing in Washington right now, to get this done. But that is where we are at tonight, folks. That is what is happening in the world, and what is shaking and baking with it. All the resources, as I've talked several times tonight, because there's been several opportunities for reference to it, all the resources that I talk about here, including this video, and all the resources that go over to narcs.org/resalestrong by noon the next day. narcs.org/resalestrong is where you find it all. Everything that we talk about here, you'll find right there at narcs.org/resalestrong. But it's not just for you. You get first dibs by being a member. Membership has its privileges, and you get first dibs on everything. We talk about it here first. Then it goes over to narcs.org/resalestrong. Not only to keep it all organized so it's easy for you to find, but to keep it so that you can share it with your friend down the street, your person that's not a member, your hairdresser, your manicurist. Okay? Anybody that needs help getting across the finish line. Your HVAC guy who didn't know he could get a PPP. He just thought I'm a one-man operation just trying to make it through this. He can get a PPP. Okay? It is about all of us getting to the other side of this. It is about everybody, each and every one, and that's why it's all there, so we can get everybody across. Everybody. If you have a question you don't know the answer to, you just email me. Email is the greatest way to get a hold of me. You just email me at Neil, Neil, at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECIstores.com. Email me there, and make sure you include your phone number in the email so I can give you a call back. I am here every night at more 8 than ish every night. Although I've been more ish than 8 the last couple of nights, but I did better tonight. Not where I need to be, but better. But more 8 than ish every night is where we try to be here live in the Narcs private Facebook group to let you know the latest that's going on in the world. We start this program every night. Every night we start this program with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we get this program started. In case you were not here at the top of the program, our good morning tonight was good morning. Get out of your own head for a second. Do something good today for someone else. They'll appreciate it. And so will your head. Our good night tonight is good night. Climb back into your own head for a second. Take stock of what you've got and what you need. You'll appreciate it. And so will your head. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah even. I'll be partying again with you before you know it. Until then, we're doing this virtual thing to get us all to the other side. But know that I'll be here back again tomorrow. No, you can't buy a boat with the second PPP, Melissa. No boat with the second PPP. No boat. No spinach dip. Okay, no boat, no spinach dip. I'll be back here again tomorrow night at more 8 than ish. Until then, not from a boat. Know that you and especially you are not alone running this store. I'll catch you tomorrow, everybody. Have a great